Hello VTubers, Village here, and welcome to another Rant video. Today I have a special guest, and it's TheChudude.
Hello guys, I am pumped today for another episode.
And sadly this week we're missing Baseball Lover. He's got some internet issues, so we decided to go on without him. The show must go on, as they say in show business. But nevertheless, it's gonna be a good one. So let's get started off. So last week we recorded the Rant before the two big classics got kicked off. So Omloop and Kuurne versus Kuurne we want to talk a bit about, because they do matter. Like, for some people, or for most people, it's the start of the season. So let's start about talking about the most interesting race, which was the Omloop Hit Newsblad. It was won by Ian Stannard, very surprisingly a Skyrider winning the stage. But what was your overall impression of the race?
It was definitely a very entertaining race. From the word go, when we were watching, we saw attacks going on. Van Mark was very aggressive. Balcom rode it pretty aggressively. They got a lot of guys in attack with a couple mechanics, which stuffed them up. Then we saw Stannard and Van Avermaet going a little break with about, I can't remember, it was probably 15 Ks or 20 Ks to go.
There's a lot of kilometers up.
Yeah, and they sort of snuck away, and the break really formed pretty well. They worked together well. Not really. Stannard decided to do a lot of the work and still won.
Well, it worked out for him. I mean, the three-man group behind him, when it was Terpstra, Boom, and Everbos Narkins, those three guys did not work together at all. We have a little inside joke with, like, you, Faz, me, and Baseball Lover, I guess, and who else was in that call?
Handsball.
Yeah, Handsball, sorry, I forgot him. So, last Boom would be pacing for like 20 kilometers straight, and he would keep making the hand gesture for the other two riders to help him to pace, and they would just not help him. And we were like, well, he's gonna keep doing it, and it was too funny to watch, because he kept pacing, and the other guys just kept wheel sucking. And in the end, he ended up with a puncher, so really sucked for him. He did the most of the work, and he got nothing out of it. Where did he even finish? He didn't even finish top 10.
18th.
No, that sucked for him. I mean, he did a lot of the work. But there's kind of an inside joke with Belkin now that both, also Zephyr and Margit did the exact same thing. He was in a group with another Skyrider. I'm not sure who that was. Do you remember who the other Skyrider was who attacked? Was Zephyr Margit?
Can't remember.
It was a third rider. I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter really. But the finish...
Luke Rowe.
Oh, Luke Rowe, yeah.
Rowe. Yeah.
He did the exact same thing, but the finish between Ian Stannard and Greg Van Avermaet is very exciting, because all in all, we all know that Greg Van Avermaet is a better sprinter than Ian Stannard is. But in the end, Ian Stannard surprised us all and won the stage. Do you think that Ian Stannard is a upcoming talent regarding classics?
Stannard is definitely, he can ride the classics. He's good on the cobbles, and this stage was a cobble stage, if you guys didn't know. And what it came down to was a head-on sprint, and in my opinion, the race was it was really wet. It was raining heaps, and that took a lot out of Van Avermaet, which looked like it. And the sprint was a bit uphill, which a lot of people didn't notice, and it became less of a sprint and more of who had the most energy left in the tank, and it showed that Ian Stannard did have it.
Yeah. Greg Van Avermaet even told the news afterwards that even in his head, with the 1 kilometer to go, he had won that stage. He knew that he could beat Ian Stannard any other day in a sprint, but he was just tricked by his legs in the finish, because he thought he had more powers left than he did. So he started sprinting with 300 meters to go, and it did not turn out good for him. He got second place, but that's a loss, at least in his book. So. Yeah. On to the other classic that was ridden last week, Kuurne versus Kuurne. This one had a little PCM-esque feeling to it, because with 50 kilometers to go, Omega Pharma Quickstep and Belkin Pro Cycling Team decided to team attack and get away from the main group. And it was just a two-team time trial from there on out. What do you think about that little PCM feeling?
Well, first of all, it is a day after the Omloop, and the Omloop had some horrible weather, and Kuurne de Kuurne was pretty much the same place, but really nice weather as well. It wasn't raining at all, and Bonin didn't do anything in the Omloop, and he came into the Kuurne de Kuurne probably fresher than most guys, because he didn't use as much efforts the day before, and he looked pretty good in the sprint. And also, we gotta mention Moreno Hofland, who came second in this sprint as well, behind Bonin by probably a quarter of a wheel, so he's going to be an up-and-coming talent, we might say. And we saw a lot of the Balkan guys in there. It was very interesting. It was a race dominated by Belgians. We had 8 of the top 10 riders Belgians, when you think about that.
Well, I honestly thought that Moreno Hoffman had won that stage when I saw it, first of all, because I was recording it for the Cycling Hub, and I immediately joined in the Skype call saying, that's not Boden's victory, that is Hofland's. But from the photo finish picture, we could see that Tom Boden won it by like a quarter length of a wheel, which was pretty insane. Sucks to lose out on the victory by that much when you're like that young. Imagine how big of a milestone it'd be for a guy like Moreno Hoffland beating Boden in the sprint.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Pretty sick. But for me, at least for me, the Kuurne race was a disappointment compared to Omloop het Nieuwsblad. There was missing some actions. Wouldn't you say so?
For sure. I mean, we saw Attack in 70Ks ago, and everyone got their hopes up that it might be one of those little slugfests, but it wasn't that way. We kind of got an anticlimactic finish, and it's just time trial, 70k time trial pretty much, and nothing much happening.
That's very true.
No attacks.
It's very true. I'll just take 1 second to like, there's this rain noise, like it's raining right now, and it's getting on my nose, so I'll just stop it real quick. And we're back into this. No more rain noise, because it was getting on my head. It was like having like tinnitus, like, what is it called? Like, you know that beeping noise in your head?
No.
Okay, when you listen to, when you like stretch your ears out, you get this beeping noise in your head. And the rain was like that to me. It started getting on my nerves.
It's just you.
Yeah,
there's no beeping noises in my head.
Well, in my head, there's everything going on, huh? But, yep, that's about the races that we missed last week. In this upcoming week, there are 2 races from the World Tour, which are very exciting. It's the Tirreno Adriatico and the Pyrenees. And, actually, let's start off. Which one do you value higher than the other? Tirreno Adriatico or Pyrenees? Which one is the most important race?
Personally, in my opinion, this year it's going to be Adriatico. Simply because Pyrenees hasn't attracted a lot of the bigger riders this year because of the course is different. It's less mountainous. We're not going to get the mountain stages. It's going to be more of a hilly stage race. So it's going to be suited, instead of the GC guys, you'll probably see the Costas, Rui Costa, Chavanel. I think Carlos Betancourt is going to be in it as well. So it's going to be not one for the GC guys, which lowers the scale in my opinion. And we saw Richie Porte also leave the race before it's even started. So that's the race signs that the defending champion doesn't want to go into the race because it's not up to scratch, I say. It's more for the sprinters, but there's not much good sprinters in it either.
Yeah, it's true. Well, what happened with the entire Richie Porte case was, so Froome pulled out a few days ago from the TA because he had back issues apparently, and then Sky decided to bring Richie Porte over to TA instead because it's a race that's going to fit the GC guys better, so they have a bigger chance of winning it and getting points that way. And then Christophe Prudhomme came out with a statement saying that that's just bad PR, and they are like made everything ready for the defending champion to come and regain his title in Pyrenees, and then he leaves like 2 days before the race actually starts. And that's basically what happened with the entire Sky case. It's very exciting. Do you think that a rider should be allowed to leave, or a rider of this caliber should be allowed to leave like 1 or 2 days before the race actually starts? Should there be a deadline for when people can change?
Personally, in my opinion, they should be able to do whatever they want. I mean, because it's a person. He's got to actually ride in the race. It's not one of those things where you just roll up and ride the race easily. It's his opinion, and everyone's got their own schedule. If a race doesn't fit their schedule, it should be their freedom to change the race. I mean, riders are allowed to pull out from races, from abandons, from crashes. Why can't they leave if they don't think the race is suited? I mean, we see Cavendish and the sprinters leave the Giro after the sprint stages are gone and it's just mountains. I mean, it's fair enough you should be able to leave before the race even starts. It just makes sense in my opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of money issues and business issues that it doesn't work, but it's at the end of the day, it's for the riders and it's their opinion. That's what my opinion is.
That's very true. That's kind of like, it's for the riders, but we were talking about this before that we actually started recording. So cycling is based on money. We saw the UCI breaking their own rules by giving Saxo Bank Tinkoff another wild card just because the money they bring into the sport. So, I mean, it's not really... At the end of the day, in my opinion, it doesn't come down to the riders. It comes down to the money in the sport. How can we keep the money flowing, and how can we keep the sport alive? So it's not always about the riders' well-being.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I agree.
yeah, okay. But I guess we've we discussed Perini's favorites, which you said was Rio Costa, the East Puncher guys, and Sylvain Chavanel, Bittencourt. All these guys who can finish in a hilly sprint finish. But what about Trino Adriatico? The riders going there. We know that Richard Porte is going there now. Who else is going there of the big GC contenders?
From Astana, there's going to be Scarponi. Nibali is actually going to Paris-Nice. I didn't mention that, but he's the only GC guy from going to Nice, pretty much, Nibali, and he's probably going to get some form after the broken, was it ribs that he suffered earlier this year?
Yeah, broken rib.
We also might see Ulysses do some work. He did well at Santos Tour Down Under, so I'm interested to see what he can pull up. Rigoberto Urán from Omega. First, pretty much good head out for him before the Giro. He's targeting this year, so we'll see what his form's like. He's going to be in the New Jersey as well without the Sky teammates, and then we don't really have much other guys that are big names. Maybe Jurgen van den Broek when we're talking about GC. Cadel Evans is going to be there as well. Then you got your sprinters. We see here Sagan. Cancellara is going to be there. Don't think he'll do much. Yeah, that's about it. So there will be good GC guys there. Don't know about the forms they're going to be in, but it should be good. Oh, Kittle's there as well.
It's funny how the sprinters go to Trento Adriatico TA, but the entire Paris-Nice race is pretty much sprint finishes. Like, it's going to be a reduced bunch sprint. So I mean, I imagine that if you can survive a little road bump, I'd prefer going to Paris-Nice, but I guess there's more prestige in winning a Trento Adriatico stage.
Yeah. The Tirreno Adriatico's got two time trials. There's a team time trial and an individual time trial. So that could play a part on who wins it. But I think it's going to be whoever's in the best form and actually wants to win it. I mean, we've talked in the past where guys, they just roll up and, just go through the motions, where some other guys actually want to win it, pretty much just win it because no one else tries.
That's true. By the way, you said that Diego Lucy was, like, you wanted to see what he can do. He just won a race a few days ago called GP Camoria. So we know he's in form. Plus, Strade Bianche, which was ridden yesterday, he got 21st in there. So he is in form, and I can see him getting top 10 on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah. And I also forget to mention Quintana is in this race as well. He could play a part. Obviously the Giro is coming up, so you'd think he'd be in some form.
Yeah, he's riding in Roma Maxima today. And not too long ago, like we're right now in the middle of the stage recording this, and Valverde and Quintana just attacked as a team attack away from the peloton. So that should mean that they're both in some sort of form. So look forward to them in the near future if they're taking a little race like this seriously. Very exciting. Well, I guess I was just mentioning Strade Bianche real quick. It was a race that was ridden yesterday. It was a race that some people actually said they would like to see to be a World Tour race because it was very interesting and the finish was very exciting. And it was won by Michael Kwiatkowski, the Polish champion. And he actually beat Peter Sagan in a kind of a sprint finish, I'd say, because it was a 1 versus 1 and it could have been a sprint finish, but Peter Sagan played it poorly. But what do you think about Michael Kwiatkowski making the statement? Like, be ready for him in the classics.
Yeah, Kwiatkowski is another one we've talked about in the past with his all-round sort of skill level he's got. He's very talented. Showed his skills in the Volta Algarve where he got the first in the GC and won a couple of stages, won the time trial, won one of the other stages, the mountain stage where he beat Contador. In terms of the win here at Strade, he's probably the better guy in shape. I was surprised Valverde didn't. He came third but didn't win it. I was surprised. I had Valverde pretty much in the bag for that one, but didn't prove the case. It wasn't really a sprint finish because I saw when I was watching it, we saw Kwiatkowski attack Sagan on this really steep hill. It was about 16%, and he pretty much rode away from Sagan easily. He pretty much cleared him on that climb, and I don't see Sagan going to be able to contest Kwiatkowski when it's a steeper climb. Sagan lost by 19 seconds, so it's not a sprint finish when it's 19-second gap.
I guess. I guess so.
Yeah.
But it could have been a sprint finish. Like, Sagan made the mistake of pacing instead of just sitting on Kwiatkowski's wheel. So it could have been a sprint finish, but I guess Kwiatkowski was just attacked away and Sagan wouldn't be able to follow anyway. So no matter what, Kwiatkowski would have been the strongest today. But the interesting thing to take away from that race is Kwiatkowski beat riders like Kreuziger. And Kreuziger last year won Liège-Bastogne-Liège, I believe, or was it La Flèche-Wallonne?
Yep. Liège. Oh no, it's La Flèche. Well,
I don't know. He won a classic last year, and he was definitely going 100% for this race, just to warm up for the classics that's coming up pretty soon. So Kwiatkowski's one to be reckoned with coming up into the upcoming classics. Do you think he could? Do you think Kwiatkowski's on the same level as Rodriguez, Moreno, and those guys?
Not just yet, but I think he can be there if he wants. If he wants to focus on the GC, which I think he should, to become more of a climber. Cancellara actually said after that stage that the strongest man definitely won that day, and that says a lot when someone of Cancellara's class mentions Kwiatkowski like that. So I think we do have someone special here in Kwiatkowski, definitely.
That's true. Well, I guess that kind of wraps up the stages that has been done and the stages that, or the races that are coming up. So that's not much to talk more about in the calendar view, but there's some news that's out there regarding the money side of things. So it was rumored that Oleg Tinkoff was trying to buy out Cannondale's team, or Cannondale Soyasun, as I think they're called in business world. But that would mean that Peter Sagan and the rest of Cannondale would fusion with Team Saxo Bank Tinkoff, and they would have like a 50-man roster, and they would have to cut some things. What do you think about this fusion? Do you think is it a good thing for both parts, or do you think it's a negative thing?
In real life, for cycling wise, I don't know if it's a good thing. I really question that, but for me personally, shit, make that happen. I want to see that happen in a heartbeat. It will make it really fun to watch, I think. Because Saxo, you see them right now, it's kind of weird, you know. They don't really have an identity, because Contador, you don't know what he's going to do now. Cannondale are on the same page as well, and I don't really know if they're a world tour team without Sagan, and I would like to see Sagan with some good teammates to see, because that would be pretty crazy as well if Sagan has some really good teammates around him and in those classics. Like, imagine Sagan with Kreuziger and those type of riders.
And all those guys. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to watch. I think, like, I was about to say the same thing with, like, identity crisis, because Team Saxo Bank Tinkoff is a mess. Like, I don't even think they know what they're doing right now. Like, they can't win a Grand Tour, they can't win a Classic, they can't win a Sprint stage, they can't win a Cobblestone stage. What are they supposed to do? Just be mediocre and everything?
And they got high expectations as well from the boss?
Yeah, Tinkoff. He wants to win everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are they gonna do? I think picking up Peter Sagan is definitely a victory for this team. But I mean, is this really gonna work out? I mean, I don't think, like, it was shut down. It was okay. So what happened is now we're discussing this and all this, but you might be saying, oh well, I read in the news that Peter Sagan said it was never gonna happen. Well, the thing is, Peter Sagan is forced to say that this is never going to happen, because according to UCI rules, you're not allowed to transfer or talk about transfers until you reach a certain month, which is, I believe, August? End of August?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not allowed to discuss transfers before you get to end of August. And last time I checked, we're in March right now. So Peter Sagan is not allowed to say, yes, I am right now negotiating with Oleg Tinkoff to bring my entire team over to his team in Fusion. He's not allowed to say that. He could press charges or face charges from this. So it's not a smart move. So it could still happen out there. Like, everyone lies, and I think this is not a bad lie to be lying about. It's very smart. So
it's common sense, really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually looking forward to it. I would love to see Peter Sagan on Team Saxo Bank Tinkoff. Finally, I have a guy that can win something. Like, Team Saxo Bank Tinkoff is in dire need of a victory pretty soon, or at least a big victory. I mean, we haven't won anything in ages, so like, what are we supposed to do? It really does suck.
Cross your fingers and hope.
Yeah, but I mean, actually, Christopher Juhl Jensen. I knew I wrapped the Strade Bianche up, but Christopher Juhl Jensen was actually attacking right now in the breakaway. Got 18th place in Strade Bianche, and he was pacing for 30 kilometers with Daniel Benatti, and he actually tore apart the peloton when he was pacing yesterday. So, I mean, that's one good upside for Saxo Bank Tinkoff. They have an upcoming talent there, and he's Danish. That is just, that's amazing. I mean, keep that up. Be lovely to see another Danish rider can do something. I guess is there anything else you really want to discuss in this week? Because that's about the topics I had written down.
Pretty much, that'll be it. There's a couple of injuries to riders, wasn't there?
Yeah, Ricardo Seudel had a broken collarbone. He had a crash, It's Strade Bianchi, I believe, and he broke his collarbone. 25-year-old talent from Austria. He was riding for Trek Racing Factory. Sucks to be him, but I mean these injuries happen every week, and we see Nibali recovered from a broken hip, or a broken, what was it? No, a broken rib. And Mathieu Burchell recovered from being hit by a mattress. So stuff happens in the sport, and he's going to recover, so I believe it's going to be good. One topic I actually kind of just wanted to discuss, but I know we discuss this every week. Last week, I believe I said there was a drug in the Olympics that was allowed, which you could see they're using this dope, but they didn't have a name for it, and they were like, oh my god, they're using dope, and they paid a lot of money for it, and it's legal, what is this BS? There's actually a name for this drug now. It's called xenon gas, and it's actually legal to use, which is really BS. So apparently, I don't know how they take this stuff. I guess they don't use a needle or anything. I mean, this is gas. So, but apparently you could use this in a race, and they could see that you're using it, but there would be no punishment whatsoever for you using this. What do you think about this? I mean, it's a performance-enhancing drug that's legal. That's not set up to be very good.
Well, if they find it to be if it's harmful, I guess they'll make it illegal pretty soon. I mean, I don't know if they really want it to be legal, it doesn't really affect. I don't really care, but I don't care about if riders use drugs. I mean, they use it anyway. If it's safe, let them use it. Make it happen. I think, because apparently. Caffeine is. I was reading a book from a UFC fighter. He said caffeine is illegal in a lot of sports, in particular UFC, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal in cycling. But the only reason guys don't get caught from it because it leaves the system in pretty much 5 minutes, and that's why you see riders drink Coca-Cola in races. They have this caffeine that in there that you're not allowed to have on the UFC. Was it UCI rules? But since Coca-Cola's got all these trademarks and all that stuff, they're allowed to have anything they want. So Coca-Cola can come out tomorrow and put EPO in their drinks, and
really
UCI couldn't do anything about it. That's true.
That is weird.
I've talked to a guy about it. Yeah.
That is messed up. Something should be done about that. But like my thing about like the xenon gases, they finally know this drug exists now, and they have a name for it, so why would they not just make it illegal? They know it exists, they know they can use it if they want to. Just say, you know what, we know it's a performance-enhancing drug, ban it, done. Just like, I guess. But they're probably not going to use it, they're going to have some tests and stuff. But you actually won this stage with Cancellara. That was a nice attack. I'm going to be nowhere near with Cookard. But I guess that's going to wrap up this weekly rant video. Sadly, there is no baseball lover since he had Wi-Fi issues, so I guess it's nice, like having, I mean, a two-man discussion is not bad either, but having a third man would be pretty good. But thank you guys for watching. Please go check out TheChudude's channel. He does amazing stuff. He already gained like 50 subs from doing these rant videos, so even more. So you guys are amazing. Keep it up, and you might just see more of him in the future. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any last words, say them now.
Goodbye.